Hello everyone, and welcome to another session of Tips from the Trenches. As always, thank you so much for sharing these videos, and please continue to do so. We had one viewer that asked a question regarding hallucinations. And so let me quickly touch on where to get help regarding these topics. So as always, I really encourage you to leave me questions in the comments below. When you leave a question, I do get a notification and I will look at that as soon as possible and respond to you. So what kind of question is being asked will determine how I suggest you get that information. So I may make a suggestion that we do a one-to-one, so either through WhatsApp or FaceTime, or I may direct you to the appropriate resources. As always, an excellent resource is the Alzheimer's Society or Association in your area. Here in British Columbia, the Alzheimer's Society has the Dementia Helpline, which is a great dementia resource for anybody to connect to Monday to Friday. And there are also many different support groups. So either again through the Alzheimer's Association or privately through various social media platforms. Unfortunately, with the 5 minutes that we have available, it's impossible to dig too deep into these topics, and really this is not what this time is all about. So for the rest of this session, I thought we would look at hallucinations. Symptoms such as hallucinations and delusions do occur when parts of the brain become damaged due to the dementia. So let's first differentiate between hallucinations and delusions. Hallucinations are the senses being wrong about what's real, and they most often are sights and sounds that only the person experiencing it can see or hear, and in some less common cases, feel. So your typical hallucinations include hearing voices, seeing people, often children, seeing animals, seeing bright flashing lights, or watching bugs crawling on the floor or on the walls. Delusions now are false beliefs that cannot be changed using logic. So for example, a person living with dementia that's experiencing a delusion may believe, and there's no way of convincing them any other way, that somebody's trying to poison their food, somebody is stealing from them, somebody is spying on them, and unfortunately in some cases they believe that their spouse is having an affair. So firstly, not everyone that has dementia will experience hallucinations. Hallucinations are more common with Lewy body dementia. People with Alzheimer's disease, yes, they may experience hallucinations, but more commonly they will experience delusions and paranoia. So what can we do if Robert is fearful at night about going to bed because he sees spiders crawling on the walls? How would we respond? Would we say, Robert, there's nothing on the walls. How is a bunch of spiders going to get into your room without us noticing that? Come on, please, can you go to sleep? We're all tired. This is not going to be helpful trying to convince a person experiencing hallucinations or delusions that what they're experiencing is not real. Will most likely just result in increased confusion, agitation, fear, and can even lead to anger and aggression. You got to remember that the hallucination is very real for that person. So what you want to do is validate the feelings and reassure them. So you want to say something like, I see that you're really upset, Robert. Don't worry, I'm here. I'm going to take care of this. Everything is going to be okay. And then you want to distract them with something that you know that they will respond to or that they enjoy. You know what? I've just baked some banana bread. It's just out of the oven. I'll cut us a slice and make us a cup of tea. Now, the important thing to remember is don't try to distract before you have validated the feelings. Often people want to distract quickly. They don't want to validate. And it's so important to validate those feelings. And then you need to see if you could reduce possible triggers. What are the triggers? Maybe they are not keeping to a good routine and they're really tired. Possibly there's some changes to their vision and their hearing that needs to be addressed. There's a whole lot of triggers that we have in the resource below that you can take a look at. Another interesting one is to avoid whispering if possible, because people can think that you're talking about them and become paranoid about that. Another thing you could do is just actually ignore it. when the delusional hallucination is not causing any harm or distress to the person or to any others, just leave it. If they're looking out the window and they're seeing a bunch of children playing with some puppies and they seem happy, there's no reason to try to change that. And then very importantly is to consult the family doctor, especially if these hallucinations are something new and you haven't discussed it with the doctor. There could be underlying infection, there could be a reaction from medication that the person's on. So very important to let the family doctor know. And then finally, it's so important to remember that the hallucinations and the delusions are a result of the disease. The person is not doing them on purpose. Accusations, especially when spouses are accused of having affairs, can be very hurtful, or when adult children are accused of stealing their family members' money. But we have to learn to try our very best not to take these things personally. Don't argue. I can't emphasize that more than enough. Don't argue. Speak to people that have been doing this journey for a long time, and they'll tell you that they wish they had learned that in the beginning, not to argue. The person's perception is their own reality. And finally, it is a very challenging behavior for caregivers. And again, this is not something that you can manage on your own. Don't try to do it alone. Please do reach out. And so once again, thank you for your time and your attention. I wish you peace, I wish you strength, and I wish you moments of joy. I look forward to our next time together.